Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And we were supposed to get to 40 degrees today. We fell well short of that because mainly the fog deck and cloud cover just kept our clouds over us and not a lot of chances to warm up throughout the day today. I thought the sun might come out around 1 o'clock. It looked like it was lifting a little bit, and then some heavier fog rolled in once again. This looking from our Sky-Fi tower camera at Jump Off Ridge, and you can see some of that snow that fell a couple of days ago still out there, but we have rain and more precipitation in our forecast. Not so much snow for us here in Wenatchee, but notice to our west and especially to our northwest, Winthrop, Twisp, in those areas could see maybe 2 to 4 inches or 2 to 3 inches once again overnight tonight. But as you move south, I think it'll be more of a rain situation for us here in Wenatchee, and we have a good chance for picking up some pretty decent rainfall overnight tonight, and then a break this weekend. Another weak storm then will head our way early next week. We'll tell you all about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Eastmont School Superintendent Garn Christensen extends the district apologies to the family of a 4-year-old preschooler who was accidentally left unattended on a bus Wednesday afternoon. A Leavenworth man shot and killed a cougar near his home on East Leavenworth Road Wednesday night. And the Wenatchee School District will be offering opportunities for stakeholders to provide input into the process of balancing the district budget for 2019 and 2020. But first, we begin tonight. 2 Eastmont School District employees have been placed on administrative leave after a preschool student was left unattended on a school bus Wednesday after it had finished its route. In a news release, Superintendent Garn Christensen did not identify the employees other than to say they worked in the transportation department. He said an investigation is underway and leaving a student on a bus is never acceptable, adding that safety is one of the district's highest priorities. Well, speaking of Superintendent Christensen, he extends the district's apologies to the family of the 4-year-old preschooler who was accidentally left unattended on that bus Wednesday afternoon. Christensen sat down with NCWLIFE News to discuss the incident.
A bus driver and a paraeducator returned from their route. They parked the bus at our transportation center, had basically concluded their route, and shortly after that a parent called and said, "My child has not arrived home." Typically, any time that occurs, our first step is to immediately go check the bus. Even though we, like all districts, have a process to check a bus, there are times when a student may fall asleep, or in the buses where they're not buckled in may actually sit on the floor. They'll fall asleep and they'll slide down. I've seen that happen. So they checked the bus, and she found the student still sitting, buckled in his seat. The report we had is he was reading a book, and immediately let the parent know that the student would be dropped off shortly.
Okay. So what is the protocol, I guess, for bus drivers with the preschoolers?
Ideally, what happens is that at the end of the route, the driver who's responsible will walk to the end of the bus, check and make sure there aren't any students that are remaining on the bus. They'll also pick up items that may have been left, and then they'll come to the front. We actually have a card that they move from the back to the front of the bus as a signal to themselves they've completed that. For some reason, that process appears to not have been done. That's the purpose of our investigation, is to find out why.
Okay. What are the possible consequences if protocols weren't followed?
They will range as in any employee situation. It can be a warning all the way up to a discharge. So anytime there's an employee that does not follow our procedures or policy, that's always the range of employee consequences, regardless of the employee assignment.
How do you respond, I guess, to some of the concerns of the parents in all of this?
Our apologies. We would never want this to happen to any student, and I don't believe our driver had any intention of doing this. I think the word inadvertently has been used. My belief is school employees come to work wanting to do the very best. We're also human, though, and this was a mistake. Our deepest apologies. This was not a safe situation for the student, and safety is our highest priority at all times. We're looking at some additional technology that's come along in the last couple of years to help this situation. There was a similar incident in Olympia this fall, and we looked at the technology that they're installing, which is a system where once a driver turns off a key, they have 1 minute to go to the back of the bus and push a button, otherwise an alarm. I think it's the horn starts honking in 1 minute, just as a double check to make sure that they, for some reason, don't forget to do their sweep of the bus at the end of their route, and check that.
Christensen says the district has outfitted 2 of the buses with the alarm system, with plans to possibly put them on all of the school buses. A Leavenworth man shot and killed a cougar near his home on East Leavenworth Road Wednesday night. The man was notified by a neighbor that a cougar was in his yard, and he later spotted the cat in a tree near his goat pen. The rancher thought the young cougar was a threat to his livestock and shot the large cat. Protecting livestock from predators is not a violation, and the man was not cited. There have been several cougar sightings in that area just this past week. Well, in other news, the Wenatchee School District will be offering opportunities for stakeholders to provide input into the process of balancing the district budget for 2019-2020. The Wenatchee School District faces an estimated $5.2 million budget deficit. 3 public informational meetings will be held January 23rd, 24th, and 29th at Wenatchee High School. The meetings will include a presentation on factors impacting the budget, a Q&A time, and link for an online survey. Public comment will not be taken at that meeting. The purpose of the online survey is to gather input from various stakeholder groups to identify district priorities that will be used to guide budget adjustments for 2019 and 2020. The first informational meeting on January 23rd runs from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Coming up next, the State Department of Natural Resources has released its 10-year wildland fire protection plan. The Women's March this Saturday in Wenatchee will include an appearance by Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson. And beginning on February 1st, Central Washington Recycling will be taking only cardboard and mixed paper at its recycling center in Wenatchee. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, the State Department of Natural Resources has released its 10-year wildland fire protection plan, and it includes hiring 30 more full-time firefighters and 40 more seasonal firefighters. Lands Commissioner Hillary Franz also wants increased aerial resources, more prescribed fire, and more community outreach efforts. Franz noted that the state responded to 1,850 wildfires in 2018, a record high. Across the state, more than 440,000 acres burned. The strategic plan included input from more than 1,000 Washingtonians. DNR also has asked the legislature for $55 million to boost its firefighting and prevention programs. The Women's March this Saturday in Wenatchee will include an appearance by Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson. The event starts at 11 a.m. in Memorial Park with presentations that include a speech by Ferguson. Marchers then will travel on Chelan Avenue to 2nd Street, then return to the park. In 2016, the march drew about 1,700 people responding to the election of President Donald Trump. Well, beginning February 1st, Central Washington Recycling will be taking only cardboard and mixed paper at its recycling center in Wenatchee. That means the facility on Hawley Street will no longer take plastic, aluminum, or tin. The business will continue to pay for mixed paper and corrugated cardboard. However, a 400-pound minimum is necessary for payment. The free public drop-off site will be open to anyone with smaller amounts of paper or cardboard. With the changes at Central Washington Recycling and the closure last year of the drop-off recycling center at the North Chelan Transfer Station, there are now fewer limited recycling drop-off sites around the county. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Hi, Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Learning about the life and times of Martin Luther King Jr. was part of the curriculum for students at John Newberry Elementary School this week. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE talked with second graders in Mrs. Marshane's class about what they learned about the civil rights leader.
Okay, Brooke Marsh Lane is the second grade teacher here at Newberry Elementary School who was kind enough to let us talk to her students today. So the message that Martin Luther King, I guess, all really resonates with these kids.
I think it's that he changed people's thinking and he changed people's feelings with peaceful marches, that he showed equality, freedom, and peace. And we talked about a podium and what a podium looks like and how he stood behind that. And I think that he had his support system with Coretta Scott by his side through those speeches and marches.
This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We're talking today about Martin Luther King Day, which will be celebrated on Monday. And you're learning all about him, as I understand.
Yes.
You are? Okay, so what can you tell me? Why is Martin Luther King important? Why is he famous?
Because he made the white and black that nobody can judge if they're different or not.
Because he wanted everybody to care.
To care?
With the words that he says.
Okay.
He was a good person, and He helped everybody to be friends and be like a family. It doesn't matter what people's skin color is. It matters how they act to you. If they're kind.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about Martin Luther King?
Yeah. How he died, he got shot, and he shouldn't have gotten shot because he was a good person.
Why is he so important, do you think?
Because he made it so black people and white people could be together.
I'm a fan of him, and then we're learning about him, and I know that he's married to someone.
Yeah. His wife. What do you remember? What his wife's name was? Coretta.
Coretta.
Coretta. Yeah. So what did he say in his speeches?
I have a dream.
Mm-hmm. And what was his dream?
To have peace on earth.
Peace on earth.
He was born in 1929 and died at 1968.
He said he told people that black people and white people should be treated the same.
What was so important about Martin Luther King's speech?
That he dreamed that one day that little girls and boys that were white and black could go to school together and be together. He stood for honor, I think.
Honor, that's right.
He was shot by a white person because he didn't like the rules that Martin Luther King made.
What kind of rules did he make?
He made to treat others how you want to be treated, and he wanted others to be kind and helpful. He would not fight, but he would use his words to change the world. Black and white were apart, and Martin Luther King tried to change the laws so that Martin Luther King and other whites could be together.
Why did the world need to be changed?
Because black and white people couldn't go on the same bus. Because he wanted to change the world and make everyone happy.
What would you do if you were Martin Luther King today?
I would be nice to everybody. He gave a lot of speeches, and he wanted to have black people and white people be together and be in the same schools.
What did he say?
He had a dream.
He has a dream.
He gave speeches to make people think and made them feel.
Okay.
And he gave speeches so he could change the rules that white people and black people could go to the same school and do stuff with each other, like play with each other.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. But before that, as always, let's take a look outside our weather window from Jump Off Ridge. That's, I guess, facing a different direction today, isn't it, Uriah? Maybe it's the same direction we always see, but it's a lot of fog out there. Of course, just below that is the cross camera that we use once in a while as well from this view. But you can see the fog was set in all day long over the Wenatchee Valley. Above that, a cloud system or a storm system moving in, bringing clouds throughout our afternoon. We couldn't see that, though, because it's still foggy out there. And boy, that kept our temperatures down, that's for sure. High today today. We thought we'd get to 40 degrees. We started off on the warm side at 32 this morning and only got to 34 degrees for our unofficial high temperature this afternoon. But that's still just below what we should be seeing normally here at 35. 25 is our normal low temperature. Record high just 4 years ago rather, at 53 degrees. Don't remember that day, but boy, what a nice one. And 5 degrees, our record low in 1984. We did pick up 0.28 inches. That was out of that previous storm system that dumped the snow that we're still seeing a little bit of out there. So that now gets our yearly date up to just over half an inch at 51 hundredths, and no new snowfall. We did have about 4 inches at Pangbourne Airport from that storm a couple of days ago. Sunrise this morning at 7:41, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:41. Now let's take a look and see what we can expect as we move into our upcoming weekend and beyond. Tonight at 10 o'clock, a 100% chance that we will see some rainfall because of this circulating area of low pressure off the British Columbia coast. It will swing that moisture right through our area tonight. We could see maybe up to 1/4 of an inch of moisture by the time we get into Saturday morning. And by Saturday, maybe a few morning showers. It will be partly cloudy, and we'll see a warm-up as high pressure begins to build a bit of a ridge on Saturday. By Sunday at 7 o'clock, there is that low pressure that started off up here, and now it's sliding down into the central Rockies by the next couple of days. A 30% chance for showers on Sunday. Still fairly mild, though, in the upper 30s. By Monday, Martin Luther King Day, it looks nice if you're lucky enough to have the day off. Mostly sunny and mild as a high-pressure ridge builds over us, but it won't last long. On Tuesday, our flow changes more to a northwesterly flow, and that will allow some moist air to move down. We do have a 50% chance for rain on Tuesday, and that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Things will clear out a bit then, maybe a leftover shower for Wednesday morning. Our skies will turn partly cloudy by next Wednesday at noon, and we'll see once again mild temperatures with winds shearing up off the eastern Pacific, and that high pressure will keep most of the precipitation well off the coast. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight, we will drop down to a fairly mild 33 degrees overnight. Remember, it's going to be a rainy one. You'll probably hear it off and on all night long, and then maybe a morning sprinkle to kick off our weekend. Partly cloudy skies by your Saturday afternoon and 43 degrees. It should be a nice one tomorrow afternoon. And then just a weak system that we just talked about will move through on Sunday. A 30% chance for rain. Partly cloudy, but we're hoping that around 7 o'clock for that lunar eclipse that's going to happen here, that we may be able to see that, but there are going to be some clouds around. We'll keep our eye on that. For Monday, mostly sunny and nice if you are lucky enough, as I mentioned, to have Martin Luther King Day off on Monday. 39 your high temperature, 40 on Tuesday with a 50% chance for rain. We'll see an AM rain shower on Wednesday morning, mostly cloudy skies and 42, and then sunny and mild by the end of next week. It looks like a nice weather trend with high temperatures then around 41 degrees. And that's going to look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Happy Friday, sports fans. Well, it was supposed to have been a busy Thursday in the world of prep sports, but that came undone. A rash of postponements because of the snow. But the Cashmere Bulldogs boys basketball team did make the trip down to Royal City, and they lost, unfortunately, to the Knights. The final was 70-59. So that was it. Everything else was postponed. And in fact, here are the events that were postponed that were supposed to happen yesterday but didn't. Take a look at it. The Wenatchee and Moses Lake wrestling match will now be held on Wednesday the 23rd. The Wenatchee West Valley and Eastmont Moses Lake swim meets, they've been rescheduled for next Thursday. And the Eastmont Moses Lake bowling match will be held today in Moses Lake. The Big Nine begins their second half of the season tonight in basketball on the girls' slate. Eisenhower is at Eastmont. We're going to have that game live right here on the NCWLIFE channel. In Caribou Trail League action, Chelan is at Cashmere, Okanagan is at Cascade, while in Central Washington B girls basketball, it's Waterville Mansfield at Manson. The boys' hoops schedule for tonight, same as the girls, just a little bit later on this evening with our cameras again at the Eastmont Gym. For the Cadets and the Wildcats, that game gets going about 20 minutes after the conclusion of the girls' game. Speaking of televising basketball, tomorrow we're right back in East Wenatchee as the Wildcats host the West Valley Rams in girls' hoops starting at 5:30. A deeply tanned Eric Granstrom will have the call there. The Wenatchee Panthers are going to be in Yakima to face the Davis Pirates, while Antioch is at Riverside Christian, and Pateros plays host to the Waterville Mansfield girls. The boys' basketball slate for tomorrow, same. And once again, we'll be televising live the West Valley game following the girls' game at about 7:30. The Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Cascade wrestling squads head to Prosser for the Prosser Invitational. That starts at 9 tomorrow morning. That's awfully early to wrestle. Everybody into the Wenatchee High School pool. The Panthers will host the rest of the Big Nine in an 11-dive meet starting at noon tomorrow. The Wenatchee Wild are in action at the Town Tennis Center tonight and tomorrow. The Trail Smoke Eaters in town. Tonight is Faith and Family Night. Saturday night, it's Pucks and Paws. They'll drop the pucks and the paws at 7:05 both nights. Here's a glance of our sports on TV this weekend, or as we like to say in the business, television. Grant Olson will be courtside tonight for the Eastmont Eisenhower basketball doubleheader starting at 5:30. And then Eric Granstrom has the call tomorrow for the Eastmont West Valley basketball doubleheader, again starting at 5:30. Before that game, by the way, you can check out the Wenatchee Wild Victoria Grizzlies game at 2. And finally, Sunday, Rock'em Sock'em Football Wars, the NFL down to their final 4. The Rams and the Saints get going shortly afternoon. You can watch that on Fox. That'll be followed by the Patriot-Chiefs matchup at 3:40 on CBS. The winners will play in Super Bowl LVIII on February 3rd. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel Monday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.
NCWLIFE channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.